Hello and welcome to a Let's Play video. I'm Drew Wilson for FreezeNet. Today we are going to be showcasing some of the gameplay footage for the video game MotorStorm for the PlayStation 3. This game was released in 2007 in North America, 2006 in Japan. So, I've got 10 minutes on the clock. Let's give this game a whirl. So you're probably wondering, didn't you already do a first impression video? Like, why are you doing a second video? Well, interesting story, and luckily I happen to know a little bit about what's going on here. There's a thing on YouTube called Content ID, and it automatically goes through videos and searches for copyrighted material. And in this case, I suspect what's happening, and I'm not 100% clear on this. I'm kind of playing things by ear from the YouTube side of things. Ouch, that sucked. I'm pinned. That's actually the first time that's happened. Anyway, what happened? It's kind of symbolic of what's happened here. What I suspect is going on, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure what happened is that YouTube picked up some music that was built into the game and decided and had a match in their database. And as a result, the first impression video got blocked in a couple countries. I don't know which country or what, but that's what I do happen to know at this point in time. So the question became, okay, in this case, what exactly do I do? Do I just leave things as is, or do I think of something else? So I kind of thought about it, and I decided that, hey, maybe what I can do is, and this is actually a common technique for other YouTubers, is turn down the music in the game to mute so that there is no music to really make a match. Because if there's no music, there's no match, there's no copyright material, at least in the music sense anyway. And then at the very least at this point I can show off what the gameplay footage is. Now, if this doesn't work in this case, well, sorry, I at least tried. So, for those who are unable to access the original first impression video, I discussed a few things about this, and I'll try and go over what I did cover, assuming I don't get too distracted here. One of the first things I covered was that I struggle with which button was acceleration. And I originally thought, well, it might be like Ridge Racer 7, which is our other first impression video here. And it'll be cross. I like to call it X sometimes, but it's technically cross, the cross button. And I struggle on the start line, and afterwards I realized it's the R2 button. So in some games it's cross, some games it's R2. But cross also, as you can tell, there's boosting in this game. Cross actually serves as a booster, and I didn't know that because it was charging from the start line, and it didn't obviously do anything. So something I learned a little bit later on. This particular level is level 3, so it is a little bit harder. So that was the first thing I ended up doing. Second thing I think I noticed was that there's a lot of different vehicles. And obviously, as you can tell in this video, I have Big Rig, which apparently rolls over from time to time. Normally that's a problem with the trucks. Come on, respawn. There we go. And there's other vehicles. There are ATVs. There are motorbikes, dirt bikes, aka. Rally cars. There are also vehicles called mud pluggers, which is supposed to be really good for the mud. Second place isn't bad. Come on. Considering the stuff I went through, second place is actually pretty darn good. So that's another thing I noticed in this game, is that there's tons of different vehicles. They have different strengths and weaknesses, as I later found out. And there's first place. I'm not gonna win this one. I'll retry. Don't worry. I'm trying to see how many golds I can get in this. Now, boost. If you run the boost for long enough, then your engine overheats. So that's the limitation, is heating. But it also gives you a small boost towards the finish line, which is why I intentionally set that off. You did qualify. As I found out that you have to finish in the top 3. Going for first place for each track, so that's why I'm restarting. So the third thing... Yeah, I apparently didn't retry. My bad. Sorry about that. The third thing I was kind of noticing was that this game sort of reminded me of Wave Race 64. Now, at the time I had a rally car, I was bumping up and down on the different hills there, and it was reminding me of the bumping up and down on the waves, so that was another thing I kind of noticed. And lastly, what I covered in the first impression video was that this game has licensed music, which ironically that may be what caused some people to not be able to view the first impression video. So the music by the PlayStation 3 era was obviously very viable. It became a really big thing in the PlayStation 2 era / GameCube era. That was because capacity for different games, it was increasing. You didn't have a couple megabytes. You're measuring your capacity in gigabytes, which obviously meant you can put more video game into it as well. But it became really easy to put... I'm getting run off the track there a little bit. It became easier to put like whole albums on different video games. This sort of thing... Boy, they're really aggressive on this round. In this in PlayStation 2 games, like, people really noticed that with the Burnout series, because that had tons of music in it. The previous era had some video games in there that had licensed music. I mentioned Wipeout. There's other games in that in the N64 / PlayStation era. Road Rash 64 was one of them. There was Top Gear Overdrive, which had basically Grindstone. I found out about Grindstone through that video game, which was kind of cool. And handhelds eventually caught up. It was mostly the Game Boy Advance. I was thinking, when I was kind of struggling to think, okay, which games had the music in it, licensed music, and I was thinking of Game Boy Advance. I was actually thinking at the time that I thought, what was it called now? Of course, I get to forget it forget the title a second down. Need for Speed Underground. That was also released on handhelds, but that was not good. That had a few of those. The Game Boy Advance had a few games like. Boy, it doesn't take much to roll these. I didn't have this problem. Come on, respawn. Of course, it's gonna take its time now. Probably lost the race for all I know. Oh well. Anyway, Need for Speed Underground on the Game Boy Advance had some music. It was very highly compressed. And of course, game cartridges on the N64 also were highly compressed because there wasn't much space in there. So that's generally what I covered. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, and almost it for the video. So I'll let you enjoy a little bit more of this game. And that will actually do it. So that was our Let's Play. Hopefully not going to get blocked in as many countries video. If it doesn't, and this is just an experiment I'm running. If it does work, great. If it doesn't, well, hey, at least you got some bonus footage. So that's not too bad. So there's plenty of ways you can support us. You can support us via Patreon at patreon.com/freezenet. And through this, you can subscribe to different tiers. You can get a whole bunch of added bonus features, behind-the-scene looks, that sort of thing. So that way you can support us that way. In addition to that, we have Coffee via coffee.com/freezenet. That will actually that if Patreon isn't your thing, then you can actually support us that way and do a one-time payment, because every little bit helps. Even $1, that sort of thing. Everything goes back to FreezeNet and the operations of the site itself, which includes these videos, which is kind of cool. You can also check out our website at freezenet.ca for all the latest in news and music reviews, video game reviews. We got a lot of content on there. We have a full-fledged wiki, which has a whole bunch of music on there that you can discover for the first time. Has a number of different genres as well that's covered on there. That wiki is continuing to expand, and I highly recommend it. I also put a lot of work into it. There's something like 2,500 hours worth of music in there, so there's a lot to check out for sure on that. So yeah, that is it. And until next time, keep it cool.